Oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was recording. Okay, so hello. My name is Khadija Amari, and today I want to talk to you about the fact that I came across something online that I thought was really interesting, and I just felt like, hey, I'm gonna pop on and I'm gonna talk about it. So, what I saw was someone made a comment about, well, in regards to self care, if I'm supposed to be refilling my cup, well, what if I feel like there's a hole in my cup? What if I feel like I'm pouring stuff in the cup, but it just drains out, right? So there's no need for me to refill my cup, if you will. And that rubbed me. Okay, that rubbed me, and I just feel like number one, there is hope. I'm always going to tell you that there is hope. Okay. Where there is a will, there is a way. But let's talk about this cup analogy. So we know that refilling your cup is an analogy for doing self care, for doing what recharges you, what refuels you, what re energizes you, relaxes you, brings you back to, I like to say, a state of peace, especially if we're talking about this concept, this framework that I have called Boundaries Bullseye. So we're not going to get into that right now, but I do want to talk about the concept of the cup having a hole in it and how you can either plug that hole, patch that hole, or you can replace the cup altogether, right? At any moment, you can choose to restart any every single day is a reset, a restart. Every moment of every day, every top of the hour, right? You can even do it at the 30-minute mark. We can reset. Like we can actually press like in this game, we're going to play a different game, right? Just like you can if you're on the Xbox or the PlayStation or the Game Boy, if you want to get throwback Nintendo, right? Like, number one, I want you to know you can do that. If you feel like your cup is broken, there's a hole in your cup, and you kind of want to throw that cup away, you can do that. You can hit the reset button and get a different cup. Now, what does that look like though? What does that mean? I say that it can look in a variety of ways, right? Because I talk to my clients about how self-care should always be personalized to you. We are all walking a different life, a different path. And I reference this concept of seasons of life. What season of life are you in? It's very, very important to consider what season of life you're in when you're trying to figure out what you should be doing to get yourself some rest, to help yourself feel recharged. And what I mean by that is I can use let's use relationships, and even moving to a new city. So in relationships that we have in our life, we could be single, we could be married, we could be single with a child, we could be married with a child, you could be divorced, right? You could be divorced with children, you could be divorced and you're a what is it called? You're an empty nester, right? Each of those seasons of your life look very, very different, like entirely different. Even if you were to look at, I said, moving to a new city, let's say you were originally living in a very rural area, but then you move to a brand new place, like a totally different state in the United States, or you move to a totally different country. Two entirely different experiences. You know, if you're moving to a different country, you don't have the same grocery stores. In some instances, if you move from one state to another, just in the United States, you don't have the same types of grocery stores at your disposal. So now you're going to have to figure out, what are you going to do in this new city? That's a whole decision. A whole, you got to grieve, okay, the fact that you've left now and it has impacted some parts of your life that you weren't expecting this move to impact. You have to come to terms with that, right? That is that's the self-accept step 3 in my framework for being able to do more self-care and make it personalized to you. The 4 phases are self-talk, self explore, self accept, and self embrace. If you haven't heard me talk about that, there's a video. I can put a card referencing that video up here. But the four phases are very important. And if you are changing the season of life that you are in, whether intentionally or unintentionally, right? Unintentionally could be maybe you had this really great job, you love that job, but for whatever reason, you got laid off. You are officially now in a brand new season of your life, and you're going to have to figure out what it means to do self-care in this season, in the current season of life that you're in. And what I mean, on a deeper level is, okay, so what if you used to go to the movies every single weekend and you used to get whatever you wanted at the concession stand? Fair. Well, now you're in this new season. You no longer have that high paying job. What are you going to do for self care now? Like, you don't have the money to go and pay for the massages you used to go get. You don't have the money to pay for the resorts that you used to go to. What are you going to do? It's not that you can't do self care. It's not that you don't have enough money to do self care. It's not that you're not in the right location to do self care. For those of you who have moved, it's not that you don't have enough people around you. The fact that you are divorced now, it's not that you don't have that best friend anymore. Maybe your best friend left you, or they moved on, right? They passed away, or they moved to a different state. They moved far away from you. You no longer have that person in your life, and so you feel like, oh my gosh, my self-care is not going to be the same. I'm not going to feel relaxed. I'm going to just going to be stressed and stay stressed all the time. It doesn't mean that. What it does mean is that this is a new opportunity for you to figure out some new information about yourself, about your life in this current season of your life. That's what it means. It means you basically pop back into that self explore phase. And you have to come to terms with what you're going through by continuing to figure out, okay, how am I going to accept this new reality? So you're popping down into phase three and then popping back up into the self explore. And you're probably more than likely, I know I have and still do, need to pop back into phase one at any given moment to figure out, okay, what are the thoughts that I'm thinking that are hindering me from moving forward with figuring out what I want to do for self care now that I don't have a job, figuring out what options are available to me for self care in this new city that I've moved to. How can I make new friends, even though my best friend has just moved away from me, right? How can I do self care now that I don't have as much time on my hands because I have a newborn baby, or I have a new spouse, or my spouse has left me and so I'm divorced. And now I feel like everything is just lost. Everything is just gone, right? There are things that you can do to pick yourself up out of that rut, okay? But you have to believe in you. You have to choose to be on your own team. If you haven't heard me talk about my own story, then I'll share it really, really briefly. When I was on my self-care journey, I didn't know that it was my self-care journey at that time, but I came to realize post haste, I was taking better care of me. Like, I was actually becoming more nurturing of myself, paying more attention to myself, becoming more self-aware. It was my self-care journey. And so in the beginning phase of me trying to figure out, okay, while I'm on this self-care journey, I want to do something more. Like, I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to just be all that I see myself being. I don't know what exactly her life looks like in great detail, but I just know that she is really courageous. She is really confident, and she loves herself. She loves the life she's living. She loves the people that she has surrounded herself with. She loves the home she lives in, right? And she's doing it in a sort of almost a fearless type of way. It's really not that she's not fearful, it's that she's just being courageous. She's doing it despite the fear. Okay. And so when I was reflecting on, okay, what do I need to do to become that version of me, that version of Khadijah? All I knew was I know what's not gonna work. I know what's not gonna work is this mindset that I have, this self-deprecation, this this 1-2 punch I got going on mentally. This I am going to beat myself up every time I feel like I make a mistake. I'm going to ridicule myself because when have I ever done something that was working out good? Right? Like, I knew that I needed to be on my own team. I needed to be my cheerleader. And so that is the same advice that I'm giving to you because I am here now. Honey, I am making this video. Let me tell you how long it took me to get set up for this video. 0.2 seconds. I saw what I saw online. I read the line and I said, I got something to say about that. And I turned the camera on. Okay. Years ago, what, 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh my gosh, like, let me do more research. I need to, child, I already know what I got to say. Here we go. Let's talk about the self-care. Okay. You can get these videos, right? And I feel more confident now. I show up for myself, like, period, right? There's a period right there. Not like with caveats, because it used to be a whole bunch of caveats. And so I'm telling you this because I know that it works. Point blank simple. I'm telling you this because I know it works. So, all of that to say, if you feel like you identify as a busy professional, or even if you're not a busy professional, right? Typically, the people I help are busy professionals, but you're a person who feels like, I need to refill my cup, but it has a hole in it. So therefore, I just feel like there's no use. There's no purpose. I keep trying to fill this thing up and it just keeps draining out. So I'm done. Like, I'm just not going to take care of myself. Honey, I want to tell you that is not the way to go. You do not have to give up, honey. You can plug that hole, i.e., set some boundaries, i.e., figure out what led to that drainage, what led to the leak, because it wasn't a drain. I would call a drain like a steady flow of outpouring, but a draining, a dripping, right? That's a tiny drop, right? So I believe that there was likely a drain or a drip before there was a downpouring drain, right? So that's a different video. I think that's going to be a different video. But there are signs. There are things that happened along the way, and you can go back and reflect on those things. Okay? As you're going through and reflecting on those things, we can write affirmations about it, okay? So that you can build that confidence in that area to strengthen yourself so that you won't have to continue to pour whatever. Let's do water. Let's just do water. Continue to pour your self-care, pour your water into this cup that is just depleting instantly. You don't have to do that, okay? And so I want to encourage you in that way. And if you believe in what I just said, then, honey, you are invited to join me inside my school community where I can help you write your own affirmations. They're going to help you to start believing in you, to start feeling empowered, to start being able to cheer yourself on to accomplish this goal of being able to do more self-care. Personalize your self-care. Feel like you love you because you will be. You will literally be loving on you. Okay. And so I want that for you. I know that you deep down, you want that for you. So click the link in the description if you are interested in joining the Co-Resting Circle. That's the name of my school community. And I can't wait to see you inside. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your takeaways were, and I'll see you inside the community.